Welcome to Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, back again with another episode, y'all. In this episode, I'm going to be reading another letter that I've received from a formerly incarcerated person out in California. He was at San Quentin Prison, did about 18 years, from what I'm reading, for a violent charge. He's not saying what the violent charge is, though, but for a violent charge. And he wanted to talk to me or write me a letter about gang life and how it influenced his kids and his regrets and all of that. I can really feel this letter here because, as you know, I used to be a gang member, and I can tell you without hesitation that my involvement influenced my two sons. So I really understand what this brother is coming from, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit after I read his letter. So I hope that this letter and what I'm going to have to say about it can be used as a guide to maybe, if you are in a gang, give you the courage to walk away from it. Or if you're a family member of somebody that's in a gang, I hope this letter can be used as a guide to help you, talk to them about, the harm and the danger of the lifestyle, right? So with that said, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Growing up, I never thought I would be involved in a gang. I had dreams of going to college, starting a career, and building a happy and successful life for myself. But as I got older, I began to see the world in a different way. I saw poverty, violence, and injustice all around me, and I felt powerless to change it. That's when I met the members of the gang. They were like a family to me, and they offered me a sense of belonging and purpose that I had never felt before. They showed me a different way of life, one where I could have power and respect, even if it meant breaking the law. I made the choice to join the gang. For a while, it seemed like the right decision. I felt like I was part of something bigger than myself, and I had a sense of pride and loyalty that I had never experienced before. But as time went on, I began to see the darker side of gang life. I saw the violence and the drugs, the fear and the paranoia. I saw how the gang controlled every aspect of my life, and how it had taken away my freedom and my future. I am filled with regret and sadness. I never thought my decisions would have such a profound impact on my children. But now I see that they have been negatively influenced by my involvement in a gang. I want to share my story and the lessons that I've learned in the hopes that it can help other parents avoid making the same mistakes that I did. When I was younger, I joined the gang as a way to find a sense of belonging and purpose. I was struggling with my identity and my place in the world, and I thought that joining a gang would give me the support and structure that I needed. At first, it felt like a family, and I was proud to be a part of something bigger than myself. But as time went on, I began to see the darker side of the gang culture. The violence, the drugs, the constant pressure to prove myself, it all took a toll on me. I became more and more isolated from my family and friends, and I found myself spending all of my time with my gang brothers. My priorities shifted, and I no longer cared about my education, my job, or my future. All that mattered was the gang and the status that it brought me. Unfortunately, when I became a father, that didn't change anything. My children were caught in the crossfire of my decisions. I was not there for them when they needed me, and I exposed them to a dangerous and harmful lifestyle. They saw me engage in criminal activities, using drugs, and participating in violent behavior. They were exposed to a gang culture and saw the negative impact that it had on their own lives and the lives of others around them. As my involvement in the gang grew more serious, I began to distance myself from my children. I missed important events in their lives, like school performances and parent-teacher conferences. I was absent from their lives when they needed me the most, and I was not there to provide them with the love, support, and guidance that they needed to grow into a healthy and happy adults. As a result of my actions, my children became involved in the gang lifestyle as well. They saw me as a role model, and they looked up to me for guidance and direction. I gave them the wrong guidance and direction by my example. They started using drugs and engaging in criminal activity at a young age, and they began to see the world in a distorted and dangerous way. It breaks my heart to see the negative impact that my choices had on my children. They have struggled with addiction, mental health issues, and legal problems, and I know that my decisions played a significant role in their struggles. I wish that I could go back in time and do things differently, but I know that I cannot change the past. Now I'm committed to making things right. I have left the gang lifestyle behind, and I am working hard to rebuild my relationships with my children. It is not easy, and there's a lot of healing that needs to happen, but I am determined to do whatever it takes to make things right. I have learned the hard way that being in a gang can have a profound and negative impact on our children. We must be mindful of the messages that we are sending to them and the example that we are setting. We must provide our children with a healthy and supportive environment and teach them to make positive choices for themselves. We must show them that there is a better way to live and that they do not have to follow in our footsteps. We must also work to address the root causes of gang involvement, such as poverty, lack of opportunity, and social isolation. We must invest in our communities and provide young people with the resources and support that they need to succeed. We must create pathways to education, employment, and leadership, and we must help young people develop a sense of purpose and belonging that does not involve criminal activity. In my own life, I have found hope and healing in the support of others. I have connected with people that are dedicated to helping individuals leave gang life behind, and I have found a community of people who understand the struggles that I have faced. Through therapy and counseling, I have been able to confront the trauma and pain that led me to join the gang, and I have learned healthy ways to cope with my emotions and manage stress. I'm grateful for the opportunity to share my story, and I hope that it can help others who are struggling with similar challenges. If you or someone you know is involved in the gang, please know that there is help available. You do not have to go through this alone, and you can make positive choices for yourself and your family. In conclusion, being in a gang can have a devastating impact on our children and our families. We must take responsibility for our choices and work to create a better future for ourselves and our communities. With support, guidance, and love, we can break the cycle of gang involvement and create a brighter tomorrow for our children. Amen to that. I really understand what this brother is trying to say. Well, he didn't try, he did it. He did a good job at it. And I want to thank him for writing me. Uh, I would like to know what the status of the relationship is right now. So, brother, when you hear this episode, please hit me up and let me know. And maybe we can talk about that aspect of the relationship with your kids now, because I know I went through the same thing with my two sons. I was a member of Gangster Disciple, and no matter what I said to them, no matter what I told them about not wanting them to be a member of it, they did it anyway. Why? Because like the brother wrote in the letter, they looked at me as a role model. We may not have used those words, but the things that they were hearing about me, the things that other people were telling them about me, the things that they saw for themselves whenever they would come to visit me, uh, they liked that. It was something appealing to them about that. They wanted to be just like Pops. And I was setting the wrong example the whole time because of my own insecurities, because of my own traumas. I was thinking distorted, and I passed that distortion on in a way that caused them to see the world in a distorted way. And it resulted in them participating in criminal lifestyle, gang lifestyle. I robbed them of opportunities that they should have had. But I was selfish. I didn't do the work. I didn't put in the time to understand my own pain, my own trauma, my own distorted thoughts. I didn't put my kids before myself because I didn't know myself. I was lost. But I'm going to say this though. Being lost is not an excuse to bring pain and harm into somebody else's life. And I know that now. Being lost, it's hard to explain to people how you're still responsible for the damage that you cause even when you're lost. While one part of you knows that it's wrong, another part of you feels rather, that you can't do anything about it. But if you're going to involve yourself in activities that you know that can be damaging, that you understand that can be damaging, but because of your own selfish needs, you still want people around you, separate yourself from them. If you know that you want to live that type of lifestyle, separate yourself from everybody that you say you love. But I understand why that's hard, because your distortion interprets what you do, how you act, and through that lens of selfishness, it interprets that as love. And that's the problem that we have when it comes to this lifestyle or any other lifestyle choice that's about pain. Our distorted view of what love is. Yes, I'm not dismissing what the brother said in the letter about poverty, lack of opportunities, lack of education, lack of good employment. I'm not dismissing any of that, because those factors matter. Those factors matter. But once we come to understand certain things about ourselves, we still are resistant to take the steps necessary to change our behavior. All the individuals out there that participate in the gang life, even though you're distorted in your thinking, even though you don't understand what love is, most of the people that I've experienced and I've had conversations in my life, when I say, would you want your child to do this? The answer is no. So there's some degree of understanding that this lifestyle is not a healthy one. So what is it that prevents us from taking that step to discourage or to walk away ourselves from a lifestyle that we know is harmful? We lack the courage. We lack the understanding, the complete understanding of what we're doing. And we don't want to accept that we're wrong. That, more than anything, prevents people from taking corrective action in their lives. not wanting to admit that you made a mistake, that you made the wrong decision. And it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's gang life, an election, the relationship choices that you make, uh, the route that you took driving home, large to small. People are reluctant when consequences, real consequences, are attached to the situation, meaning somebody might not like you, you might lose a friend, you might lose a loved one, you might lose your partner, you might lose your freedom. We are reluctant to say, I was wrong because of the consequences. And that is rooted also in selfishness, because those consequences that we have to suffer and deal with, we don't want to deal with them. And that brings out our selfishness. So we'll continue to do what we do, even though it's harming other people. And that's what this brother is trying to say. We have to do everything we can to give those around us, those that see us, our children, our nieces and nephews, our loved ones, our partners, our friends, those of us that are looked at in a way as a role model, good or bad, we have to be more concerned about the people that are looking up to us than how we feel. And when we do that, we'll create an environment where they do good, we feel good. It's a win-win. This gang lifestyle, y'all, it's not one that you want. It's not one that you should want. And I understand the need to want to feel important, the need to want to feel accepted, the need to want to feel respected. I get it. But this is not the answer. This is not the answer. There are a lot of other things that you could do in your life to get all of those things. And it starts with being able to see yourself as somebody. You have to do that. Now, if you got any questions about this episode, hit me up. Hit me up in the comments section. Hit me up at doingtimewithjoe@gmail.com. Hit me up. And let's talk about it. Don't be afraid. I can take it. You know what I'm saying? I can take it. If you disagree with me, let me know. If you agree with me, let me know. Hit that like button. For those of you that haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Come on now. Come on now. And listen to those episodes. Stop clicking them episodes off halfway through. Y'all know what's going on. This has been another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and I say peace, y'all.